All right, welcome back, Leo. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Today we're going to do your June 2021 Situationship Love Tarot reading. We just went through a number of eclipses. It was eclipse season earlier this month and late May. That happened on the Sagittarius-Gemini axis. And for you, Leo, that is your 5th and 11th houses. And these are actually pretty good houses overall to have eclipses in. And the reason for that is the 5th house has to do with karmic rewards, has to do with children, fun, games, romance. That's Sagittarius for you, and Sag is ruled by Jupiter, which is expansion, growth, good luck, faith, morality, wisdom. So there could be some really great things coming for you in that 5th house of romance. Maybe you're taking your romantic life up a level. Perhaps some of you are getting pregnant, or you're finding out that you're going to be pregnant. And that 11th house is also a very fortunate house. That's Gemini, so that's 11 signs past Leo. And right now, that's where the sun is at. So we're still in Gemini season right now. And the 11th house has to do with financial gains. It's your hopes, wishes, and dreams. It's also your communities, your allies, your friends, your group associations. So things could be shifting on that front too. Eclipses mark new beginnings and endings. So really what could come up here is perhaps your friend group is changing, perhaps allies are changing, your support network is changing, or good things come out of those places in your life right now. And this also has to do with children. So there's a huge element of that going on, but this also has to do with romance and the fun and leisure of life, karmic rewards. So if you've been doing the work, working on yourself, some really good things could come out of this for you in the next 6 months or so. That's about the time that it takes for the eclipses to really come to full culmination. Keep in mind, though, that Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, it's the planet of communication, is still in retrograde until June 22nd. I'm doing this on June 17th, so we still have a few days to go. And then Mercury's got to move forward again through its shadow phase. That's the period by which it was retrograding. So we still have a good 3 weeks to go until it's finally out of shadow. So don't be making any major decisions just quite yet. As far as friends, allies go, there could be some miscommunication going on generally. There's been issues with technology. Just giving a personal example, I'm a Cancer rising, but the Gemini energy will play out in different ways for everyone. But generally speaking, Gemini rules communication, travel, technology, learning, thinking. I transferred some assets into a new brokerage account, and the financial institution that I was transferring to deposited into the wrong account. So I've been dealing with that for the last couple weeks. So that's my little Mercury retrograde phase for me personally. Trying to figure out how am I get my assets back. So the key to this, though, is to be patient. Don't take it out on people in stores. Don't take it out on customer service reps. Be very patient, because it's just, once you realize this is a Mercury retrograde tricking moment, you can kind of just laugh and go, haha, Mercury, like, you got me, but I'm going to figure this one out. So that's how you deal with Mercury retrograde. So that's just a personal example of something that's happened in my own life. Try to give those examples. But generally speaking, this 11th house where Mercury is retrograding, it's going to come up with communication, travel, expect delays, expect the unexpected, miscommunication. There could even be a little bit of illusion and deceit in the air as well, because this Mercury retrograde was squaring Neptune in Pisces, and that can point to some disillusionment. So time to take off the rose-colored glasses, so to speak. The other big thing that I want to mention is that Mars, the planet of action, vitality, courage, bravery, virility, is also in your sign now for the next 7 to 8 weeks. So it's a great time to really pick up the momentum and start putting things into motion if you've been working on that. Anything that's kind of underneath the scene, so to speak, it's now time to put that into motion. Whenever Mars is traveling into your first house, you're going to have a lot of more energy to get things done. So it's time to take those actions. Venus, the planet of love, harmony, relationships, popularity, is now in Cancer, which is your 12th house. The 12th house is more introspective. It's also about confinement and isolation sometimes. So relationships could feel a little bit confining. You could feel a little bit isolated. And the 12th house is also a house of self-undoing. It's known as the house of escapism in Western astrology. So you've got to be really careful with drugs, alcohol, sex. In Vedic astrology, the 12th house is a house known for sex. So with Venus sitting there, things could get spicy, to say the least. And when it's in Cancer, I want something that's comfortable, something that feels secure. It's a little bit more emotional. It's more affectionate. So that's the type of quality that love will take on. Venus and Mars are going to meet up in Leo at the end of July, which could be great for you. So that's the cosmic lovers getting together. So if you are single and looking, it's time to get out there, put yourself out there. If you are married, it's time to renew that spark in your relationship. You could feel a nice little boost during that time. So that's the general astrology. I'm going to do a general reading. We're going to do the situationship reading. We all go through situationships. Doesn't matter if you're single, partnered, dating, looking, whatever. We all go through situationships. So I'm going to do a modified Celtic cross. I'm going to pull 6 cards from the tarot, 1 from the Angel's Oracle. Keep in mind, these are general readings. The messages will not resonate with all of you. Take a look at your ascendant, moon, Venus signs. Sometimes those readings will resonate more with you, depending on what's happening in your natal chart. If you like these readings and would like to see more of them, please click that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel and is very much appreciated for me. All right, Leo. Let's see what's going on with Leo. All right, here we go. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Great card. You're attracting people. Mars is in your sign. Mars is comfortable in Leo. The sun will be in your sign in a few months. Venus is traveling through that 12th house right now. And again, that's Vedic astrology. That's intimate matters. So there could be some great encounters to be had for you, Leo. All right, so the first card is your general energy. So let's see what's happening. 6 of Pentacles. This is the issue that you're dealing with right now. The sun, well, that's your card. Interesting. Also represents children. We talked about that. Next card. This is what you're conscious of what's happening in your relationship right now. Page of Cups. So might need to have a little heart to heart. This is what you're not conscious of. Page of Swords. Oh, so you might need to be a little bit more rational here. You got 2 pages. Could be children as well. We got a lot of signifiers of children. This is the limitation in your relationship right now. Oh, 2 of Cups. Trying to make it work. That soul karmic bond can get tricky at times. So this is the outcome. Magician. Oh, that's a good card. So you got this magnetic attraction, right? Doesn't matter if you're single, looking, in a partnership. You have the attraction. You like to have the fun in your relationship. You like to have that carefree, childlike feeling when you're with someone. It's all about the fun, the creativity of love, right? But there is something here that needs to be rebalanced, okay? And the 6 of Pentacles, you can see here the man's got the scales, and he's got 2 coins on one side, 3 on the other. So that to me says there needs to be a rebalancing of resources. It could be emotional resources. It could be rational resources. So if you're not thinking clearly about something, you need to clear the mind space. You might need to clear the heart space if things are coming up that just aren't producing the results that you want. So this points to a rebalancing of sorts. The issue here is you trying to find happiness. Leo, you tend to be a very positive, outgoing, extroverted individual. And the sun is your card. The sun is your ruler. The sun is sitting in Gemini. Gemini is your 11th house of allies, partnerships, financial gains, your hopes, wishes, and dreams. So if you're hoping for something to come about here, if you're wishing for this connection or a reconnection, you need to really think about what makes you happy. You need to think about what support networks are around that are going to get you to that point. One of my mentors, and he's an astrologer, and I just had my own astrology reading done. Even astrologers get their charts read. It's good to get always second, third opinions, and I have my people that I go to that I trust to help work through my own stuff. And I'm going through an 11th house transit too. Right now, Uranus is going over my moon, and it's in the 11th house of Taurus. And basically what that means is a lot of things are changing with my network of friends and financial gains and other things that are associated with the 11th house, but it really has to do with your support network. And what he told me was, when your friends change, your future changes. So sometimes this points to, are you hanging out with the right people? Do they match your vibration and where it is you're going? And Leo, you are this gregarious, outgoing person, and sometimes you like to stick around with the familiar. But sometimes the familiar isn't always where the future wants you to go. So when your friends change, your future changes. And this is all these 11th house themes where the sun is sitting. This is where Mercury is sitting. So perhaps you need to take a look at your allies and your friends. And do they support you? And do they align with you and where you are now and where you're going? Because sometimes that actually leads to love. Once you realize, hey, this group of friends that I'm hanging out with doesn't really jive with me anymore, all of a sudden you get new friends, and then all of a sudden you start meeting people, and you could fall in love with someone or be interested in someone, or someone gets interested in you. So, you really have to pay attention to that right now, because that's where the eclipses happen too. So if you're getting this feeling like something's got to change, take a look at your friend network, the organizations you're a part of, your hobbies. Is it aligned right now with where it is you are going? And you're going to get a lot of messages about this. Some of you, this has to do with children and deciding whether or not you want to have children. This is coming up a lot for a lot of the signs. Some of you might be dealing with a partner that's unsure. But if you take a look at this card, it's the child on the horse. It's a very happy card. And then pages not only represent messages, but they also represent children. And you got two of them here. So some of you might have two children and you're trying to figure out what do we do next. Maybe you guys just need a break, you need a vacation, kids need a vacation, it's summertime, they need to get out of the house, things are opening up again. That could be part of this, and which would help your relationship as well. Some of this is just messages, and you guys need to have a heart-to-heart conversation. So you know this is what you're aware of. You need to get in touch with your feelings, and you need to have that heart-to-heart. And you need to say what's in your heart. And you also need to speak your truth. And this is what you're not aware of. And maybe this has to do with the other person. You're not sure where they're at right now, what's happening. Maybe there's just some really clouded thinking, or some really confusing. The words don't match the actions. That's what I'm trying to say here. That's what I'm getting. Like, it's something, acting one way but saying something else. So the truth needs to come out. And in order to get the truth, which is Page of Swords, you got to have that heart-to-heart. It's time for a check-in. How are things going? The limitation is getting to this level. The Two of Cups is, of course, a soulmate connection of type. I believe in stepping stone soulmates. I think we have more than one throughout a lifetime that really impact us. Sometimes they're lovers, sometimes they're partners, a lot of times they're parents. So, if you have children right now, take a look at your kids, because one of them is likely your soulmate. And it's probably the one that, I know parents love all their kids, but the one that you struggle with the most. If you're having any issues with children right now, if your kids are acting up, If you have teenagers and you're having problems with them, it might be time to have that heart-to-heart conversation. Sometimes love readings bring in family because, we all love our family to a certain extent, or your chosen family. So think about it that way too. So think about your karmic connections here. Are they operating effectively? Do you have clear communication? Do you need to have a heart-to-heart about something that's affecting them? Or is it affecting you? Or is the relationship being affected by the children where you guys just need a break? And this is coming out a lot. And it's just because of COVID. Travel's picking up again. People want to get outside. People want to do a vacation. And I say go for it. I just got back from Sonoma. I went to California for about 5 days and did some wineries. And I will tell you, it was very therapeutic, very relaxing. It was good to just relax. I did a little coastal drive and sat by the beach and toured the redwoods. And I'll just tell you, that does wonders for the psyche after a year and a half of being imprisoned in home. And I'm sitting in this concrete prison right now. So people need it, and it's coming out a lot. So to wrap this up here, the outcome is you have the skills to manifest what it is you need to do here. So if you need to deal with children, if you're having a problematic child, you have the skills to deal with this. You have the mental fortitude. You have the emotional capacity. You have the passion to get them through this or to help them. And you have the resources to do it too. If you're trying to manifest this relationship and you need to have a conversation to bring it to that next level, or to have a heart-to-heart conversation about whatever it is that's going on, you have that capacity too. This is saying it's all within you. You are the magician. You have the magic within you to make this happen. It's a matter of sitting down and thinking about how to do it. And remember what the first card was. This has to do with romantic attraction. I know I went off on a tangent about kids, but sometimes the two go hand in hand. But for the most part, this is really about the messages balancing of emotion and rationality. You can't have too much of one and without the other, or else it kind of gets lost. If you have too much emotion, things boil over. A lot of fights, a lot of emotional battles. If it's too rational, you don't talk about the things that are going on in here, and things get swept under the rug. And then there's all of a sudden this big boiling point where things erupt, right? So you want to avoid both. You have to do the balancing act. And that's exactly what these three cards are saying. Then you come back into this. That soulmate energy that provides the happiness, right? The attractions here. This isn't for all of you. This is just for some of you. This could be an ex coming back too. Six of Pentacles sometimes has this element of nostalgia and the past. So you might hear from one of them. And it could have been, a great attraction at some point. So others of you, you're going to meet someone that's got this soulmate type energy that you've been manifesting for quite some time. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Leo. Got quite a few things going on here. Drop me a comment if any of this is ringing true for you. Until next time, take care.